never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer. Find another.
Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. It's a Tuesday, and I have a big question for the Georgia Bulldog fans out there, and I will get to that question coming up here in just a few short minutes. But first, let's do our quick Braves review. I know last year I tried to do one just about every single week of the season, but this year I've decided that baseball is so long and there's so much going on in the sports world right now that I wasn't going to come on here every single week and do a Braves review. So I've did some quick reviews here and there, but I have not yet done a full-blown weekly Braves review because the Braves proved last year that as long as you play good the last half of the season, what you do in the first half of the season really doesn't matter as long as you stay within striking distance of the division leader, whoever that is. Now, of course, this year with the Braves, the division leader is the Mets, and the Mets right now are actually, in my opinion, the best team in baseball, and their two best starting pitchers are out with an injury. So when they come back, the Mets should get even better. But the Braves started this week 8.5 games behind the Mets in the division race. And the reason why I say started is because the Mets played last night. The Braves did not. The Mets are out west right now playing the Padres. Game 1 was last night. They'll play the Padres again today and tomorrow, and then they play the Angels this weekend. Now, the Braves did not play yesterday after playing every day the last 2 weeks. They finally had a day off. They have a quick 2-game series with the Oakland A's tonight, and then they play the Pittsburgh Pirates starting Thursday and going through Sunday. But Michael Harris Jr. right now is doing a phenomenal job in center field. He has made some great catches already. Looks like Andrew Jones all over again in center field for the Braves. Now, he's only playing because, if you recall, the Braves signed Dickerson before the season started. I still don't know why they done that because he's terrible, so he has already been released. Of course, Eddie Rosario is out with an injury right now, so they're already down that outfielder. And then Orlando Arcia proved last year he can't hit consistently. Guillermo Heredia has proven time and time again that he can't hit consistently. They gave Travis Demeritte a shot. He couldn't hit, so they're out of outfielders. But luckily, Michael Harris Jr. is doing a pretty good job, so they should be okay until they get Eddie Rosario back. As long as they can get Adam Duvall going, he's still hitting below 200, which is absolutely terrible. Now, usually he makes up for it with home runs, but he doesn't even have 5 home runs so far this year, so he is struggling average wise and power wise right now. Maybe he'll get it going. Dansby Swanson is absolutely on fire. He was hitting 220 just a few short weeks ago. He's actually hitting 274 right now, which for him is great. If he can keep that up, he'll be okay. But I've seen Dansby too many times. As soon as this hot streak ends, he'll go 2 for his next 80 and get his batting average back down to about 245. Maybe I'm wrong. I've just seen that too many times, but he's hitting second right now because of the fact he's making so much contact. Maybe he keeps that up. Austin Riley already has 14 home runs, so he is on pace for 35 plus home runs this year. Hopefully he'll keep that up. Matt Olson is finally coming around. Now, he only has 7 home runs, but his batting average has almost reached 260. He got off to a hot start the first couple of weeks of the season, and then about the last 5 weeks, he's pretty much struggled, but he's hit the ball pretty good over the past week or so. Max Fried has been absolutely dominant so far. I think it's obvious why he's the Braves' ace pitcher, #1 starter. He's 5-2 with an ERA of 2.74 in early June, which is really, really good, especially this day and time when Major League Baseball is all about the offense. Kyle Wright has still been pretty good. He hasn't been as dominant as he was his first 3 or 4 starts, but he's still been pretty good. But the rest of the Braves rotation has been awful, and that's putting it nicely. I'm afraid Charlie Morton is done, and I hope not, because it looks like Tucker Davidson is still not ready. Kyle Muller is still not ready. They sent Huescar Ynoa back down to AAA because he was so bad in his 2 starts, and his ERA is around 7 with AAA Gwinnett, so he's not getting called back up anytime soon. So the Braves right now, if Charlie Morton is done, they're going to have to make a trade because they're thin right now in the starting rotation. Huescar Ynoa was great last year. Then he had that one bad start, punched the wall, and broke his hand, and he ain't been the same ever since then. Again, a 2-game series with the A's coming up tonight, and then 4 with the Pirates. Any thoughts on the Braves so far? Please feel free to let me know. I know AJ Minter has been absolutely dominant, and Will Smith has been worse so far this year than he was last year, but I don't worry about it because he proved last year that when it matters, he's money. He gave up 0 runs throughout the entirety of the playoffs last year, but he was the Braves closer last year, and none of the fans liked him because if the Braves had a 3-run lead, he'd give up 2. If they had a 2-run lead, he'd give up 1. If they had a 1-run lead, he'd walk the bases loaded and then get out of it. And so far this year, he's been the setup man because they signed former Dodgers closer Kenley Jansen to a 1-year deal. They made Will Smith their setup man, and just like last year as the closer, every time the Braves have a 2 or 3-run lead, he gives up 1 or 2. But Jansen's been pretty good so far. He's blown 2 saves over the past about 3 weeks, but he's still doing a lot better than I expected. But my question is for the Georgia Bulldog fans as far as the uniforms go, because I saw a video last week about the new Georgia Bulldog uniforms, and might I say, they're absolutely hideous. I mean, them things are ugly. But my question is, are these potential uniforms that they're thinking about wearing, or are these just something people are talking about? Or is it one of those things where they're going to wear them for 1 game and that's it? Hopefully, if they're going to wear them, it's going to be for 1 game and that's it, because them things are awful. That's one of the good things about being a Clemson fan is a lot of teams this day and time, like Oregon, have 175 different uniform combinations, and I don't like that. I like the traditional uniforms. Whoever the team is, whatever conference you're in, all that doesn't matter. Every team has their team colors, and you should have 3 or 4 different uniform combinations with your team's colors on it. But anything more than that is ridiculous. But you've got so many of these companies nowadays coming in here and offering these teams $1 or $2 million to alter their uniforms. And most of the time, the uniforms are just ugly. And I wouldn't mind if Clemson done it for a one-time thing. It wouldn't bother me at all. But more than likely, if you do it for a one-time thing and people like it, you start doing it more and more and more. I don't like that. You're orange, purple, and white. So your uniforms should be orange, purple, and white. Nothing more, nothing less. And Nike has offered Clemson a lot of money, many a times, to alter their uniforms. And Dabo's always said, no, these are Clemson's uniforms, and these will remain Clemson's uniforms. I don't care how much money you offer me. I'm not taking it. I'm not changing Clemson's uniform. And that's the way it should be. Some fans like it. Some fans don't. I personally like it because I would like to see a different uniform on occasion. But you see, with most teams, they wear something one time and then it becomes something you wear once a year or once every 3 or 4 games. I don't want that. I would rather stick with what I know, stick with what I like, stick with what Clemson has than change it up for something hideous. So if you're a Georgia fan, please tell me these are not going to become Georgia's new uniforms. One time is too many, but one time is a whole lot better than 5 or 6 times a year because them things are absolutely hideous. And if you have not seen them, please get on Google and do a Google search. I'm sure if you type up Georgia's new uniforms, it'll come right up. But in my opinion, they're just ugly. Even if you're not a Georgia fan, if you know the full story behind this on why they're doing it or why they're thinking about doing it, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. At the airport, my wife and I witnessed a man collapse on the luggage carousel. I told my wife he's okay. He's slowly coming around. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.